Julian Bluefoot battling Gaffo for P1.
Crash fans out. It's lap one.
For Hyper, it's wheel to wheel. They make contact. Spins over the wall.
Has driven fantastically. He's defended brilliantly and he's kept it clean.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the United Racing Championship YouTube channel. You're very welcome here today. My name is Shamrock and we are here for the Season 12 team reveals, calendar reveals and announcing the overtake of the season award that you may have just gotten. It might have already been revealed there as Stream Elements comes online. So without a matter of ado, let's take a look at the overtake award for season 11 that goes to FaZe Monkey with a majority of win of 4 votes. And let's take a look at it in Monaco round 11. This race, as he gets a nice move there on Yari on lap 31, and that is all she wrote for that overtake. But yes, we are entering our 12th season in the United Racing Championship. Up to this date, we have done 98 races have been completed, and season 12 will reach a very special mark of 100 races. Now, who is saying full screen? Oh, Hyper saying put the overtake on full screen. Yeah, that's fair enough. 98 races. But yeah, so we'll reach 100 races in season 12, and a lot of people are under the assumption that season 12 is 8 races long. Well, I got a bit of a surprise for you. Because the F1 26 DLC is rumored to be delayed, or has been already delayed, we've decided to extend season 12 by an additional 4 races. So it's going to be a 12 race calendar again. And I actually do have the calendar in front of me so that I can reference it on stream as it appears. We are doing the calendar reveal and the driver reveal through Google Slides, in a way that we will have some race dates information, track information like the track names and previous winners of who won the last time the league raced there. So we're gonna have we will have 4 sprint races in season 12, so 8 normal races, 4 sprint weekends. The sprint races will follow a 2021 sprint race format, meaning there'll be no qualifying on that race night. The sprint race will be set in the grid for the sprint race will be set in reverse championship order, and then the results from the sprint race will set the grid for the main race. The points for sprint races are pretty much normal, as they would be in any F1 regulation. And essentially what this aims to do is for those drivers who are at the back most of the season or in the bottom half of the championship, it gives them a real chance at scoring points, and that's what it should aim to do. But also it creates an interesting race for not only the drivers but the commentators as well. So it's really a new entertainment factor we're adding to this season, and to be honest, the Sprint 21 format for this season came from Hyper. He was the one who brought it to my attention, so I do appreciate that suggestion, and it's aptly been taken on board. So, with no further ado, let's get straight into the URC Season 12 calendar. Round 1. I want to talk a bit about the first race. It's a track that hasn't featured in a while. I had to, when I was doing kind of like when I was preparing these, I had to go back a while to find the last time this track was used as a track on the calendar, but also a season opener. And many people would think when they hear the words season opener, they think of, Bahrain mainly. I can tell you that's not the case with this calendar, ladies and gentlemen. Round 1 is actually Australia, the Albert Park circuit, with its nice 4 DRS zones. As you can see it here on the right side, beautiful track. Should be good racing and should be a fantastic season opener for the drivers. Bit of information about Albert Park in the URC. The race date is the 19th of March as the season opener. Obviously the title of it, Australian Grand Prix. And the previous winner in the URC was Owen Curry with Williams back in season 8. So that means this track hasn't featured on the calendar for 4 seasons going into season 12. Now, I could be incorrect. Season 10 was a bit of a messy season, so I'm not sure if Australia featured on season 10, but since season 9 and season 8, it hasn't featured. So season 8, the recent time on record that Australia was last raced. So it's been a while since the Melbourne Grand Prix has taken place. And that's round 1. That will open the season. There we go. Round 2 is Barcelona again, so I kind of clicked too much there, but it's already been given away now. So, yeah, round 2 is where URC all started back in 2022, the first race that the URC ever raced on, so 97 races ago. URC raced first on the circuit, the Barcelona Catalunya, very first track that the URC raced on the 2021 game. And it was, I believe, Ronan H who won that race in season 1. But then it went to Ben Ratcliffe after penalty decisions in the first race. But a very much a nostalgic track for those who have been in the URC a long time. Hasn't really featured that much, like it's not been a consistent or a consecutive Grand Prix appearance for Spain. It's been one that's been very on and off in recent seasons. So again, a little bit of track information. That's the full name. Previous winner to win this race was Ricky in season 10, so it did feature 2 seasons ago. And it's on the 26th of March. So that is, for those who have missed the first 2 rounds, it's Australia, Spain. Round 3 then. And round 3 is actually a race we had recently in the URC, and if I'm correct to my knowledge, it's the first sprint race of the season. Spielberg, Austria is back by popular favourite, really. And I think if you think of sprint races, it's the only logical location to have a sprint. And everyone loves Austria. It was surprisingly a good way to finish the season in season 11, despite a lot of the opinions about it in the calendar reveal last season, or a lot of people thought Austria would be a crazy end to the season, but it actually gave some good entertainment. It was a good race to watch and some really good battling. It was between four drivers, but there we have it on the 2nd of April. It's a sprint weekend, so it is the first sprint of the season. And the previous winner, Fran Bernoulli in season 11. So as you can see, it's a recent track. Next up is round number 4. Again, a track I think we haven't had in a long time. A lot of good racing on this track. It's it hasn't really featured a lot, to be honest. I don't think people have wanted to drive it. It's a good one. It's a good addition, I think, to this calendar, and I think it's something that needs to be on this because of the the racing that it allows. It's a very wide track as well, so it's very forgiving when it comes to error, I think, in some parts of it. And just it's an overall good racing track. So round 4 we head back to Shanghai International Circuit in China. Hasn't featured that much in a lot of URC's seasons. I think it's on the 9th of April, and the last winner was Brandon Clark in season 7. That race, Bluefoot got a podium in with Red Bull. He finished P3, so that is the most recent race. So China hasn't featured in 5 seasons, so it's been a long time since we have raced in Shanghai, and it'll be great to be going back there, and it should be really exciting to see how the race plays out, especially with the new grid and the new season. So if you've missed it, again, just a catch up, we've had Australia, Spain, Austria, and China as our opening 4 rounds. Round 5. Round 5 is I think Hyper was onto it there. Round 5, Hyper's pretty much guessed it. COTA. So COTA was round number 3 of last season. That was won. That's on the 16th of April, by the way. It was previous winner RB Gaffel with Williams in season 11. So again, that was a great race. Obviously, if you remember it from season 11, we had Luca extending his tyres so far in the race, and Gaffel basically chasing him down on new tyres. And I mean, that race was just really good to watch because it was a matter of could Gaffel reduce that 3-second gap, and he did. And yeah, COTA was able to do that and catch him in the end. Moving on to round 6, Hyper's guessed it. I mean, I don't know how he's done it, but it's Belgium. Well done, Hyper. Fair play to you. You have guessed it as round number 6. I don't know how he's done that, but he's guessed it. I think he just thinks it's an obvious halfway point of the season. So it is the halfway mark. And while he has guessed that it is Spa, 23rd of April, by the way, previous winner was Hyper in season 11. Oh, I forgot to mention it's a sprint weekend, so I didn't mention that. I did not mention that Spa is a sprint weekend here, but it is. So we'll have our second sprint of the season in Belgium, and you can see this lovely little graphic highlighting all the different turns on it. We have La Source, Eau Rouge, Radion, Kemmel, Kemmel Strait, Les Combes, Malmedy, Bruxelles, Rivage, Double Gauche, Pif Paf, Le Fan, Campus, Davalo, Cours Paul Frere, Blanchimont. W pronunciation, by the way. Right, let's move on to round number 7. So, round number 7, is one that, again, I don't think has featured in a little while. I think it was season 9 or season 8, maybe even before that, was the last time this track featured. Formula Aero used it last season, if I'm correct, and I think ARL used it this season in their league, so it's a fairly relevant track. It's had some pretty big moments in URC. It's had some pretty good moments in season 3 and season 4 in terms of title fights, being towards the end of the calendar. Again, it's just one of those racing tracks where it's got good open racing, plenty of straights, couple of corners. It is Mexico, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico. The Mexican Grand Prix is round number 7. On the 30th of April, previous winner, so season 4 was the last recorded winner that I have on record. We were probably going to race it in season 10, but we didn't get that far. So that's probably why we don't have a recorded winner for it. But the last recorded winner was 8 seasons ago. So it's been a long time for Mexico, on record. That's all I can confirm for Mexico on for round number 7. Round 8 received a change last night, literally last night. So round 8 was Miami, and it was a sprint. Now the sprint format is there. Sprint is still for round 8, so this will be our 3rd sprint of the season. The track is a track, well, featured in season 1 with a bit of carnage. It featured again in season 3 when Bonsi was with Aston Martin. It featured in that season as well. And then I don't think it has featured since, because the track is just so difficult. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce round number 8, sprint format. No! I thought I changed this. No! I changed it to Azerbaijan. I don't know why I still kept Miami up. I was supposed to make that change last night. This is supposed to be Azerbaijan. I do apologize. And I have it changed on the graphic, but this is incorrect. This is going to be Azerbaijan, not Miami. I will put the graphic up at the end of the calendar reveal to show you that Azerbaijan is actually round 8, instead of Miami, and it's on the 7th of May. So I do apologize. Hyper says New Miami is good though. I just think, in terms of the majority, Hyper, a lot of people would prefer to drive Azerbaijan. Yeah, it is a funny looking Baku, to be fair. I forgot to change it. I don't know who the previous winner is of Baku, to be honest. I know it's somewhere on the in the archives of URC seasons, but if we did feature a Miami, it hasn't been featured since season 2. So you can see why it's not been a fan favorite in the league. Right.
Not a great track, yeah.
Hey, Leo. Jesus, you came in out of nowhere.
I came in as soon as I was told there was a mistake about Miami.
Yeah, no, that's why we changed it to Baku. Obviously, Leo, you've heard the track so far. Your thoughts on them?
Hold on, let me pull them up real quick because I haven't been watching. I've just got people in the call with me.
Oh, fair enough.
But to be fair, yeah, I think everything so far will hold a pretty good race, honestly.
That's good.
Australia's quite a good race in general. Spain will be interesting, and then I think the rest of the calendars all offer some pretty good action. And we've seen it recently.
Yeah, we have the final four, 9, 10, 11, and 12 to get through. So round 9, I have it here. Been a while since this one was featured. We had some pretty good moments. I think in this race, in one particular season, I think it was season 8 or season 9, there was 10 cars battling for the lead. It is Monza, and that is on the 14th of May. And the previous winners was CRE Wandy in season 9. So Monza hasn't featured in 3 seasons now, and going into season 12. So, Leo, what do you think about Monza? Is Leo gone? He might be gone. But yeah, Monza makes its return basically 2 seasons later. Um, and I was surprised it didn't feature in season 10, didn't feature in season 11, which was, yeah, it was a bit of a shame. I think I didn't put it in there. I wanted to, but you live and you learn. And now Monza's a part of it. It's not a sprint, it's a normal race, but it should be a good one. Um, there should be some good action around this track, and if it rains, which it has done before, if you remember season two, season 2 in Monza, the title will change. The title race shaped up massively because it was between McBot and Banter King, and it was a very wet race that occurred in Monza that season. And also it featured in season 1 as well, where Fran and Griffin had their big moment going into Ascari. So a lot of history for URC on this track, and it's now back on the grid um, for season 12. And season 12 is obviously the special season so far. Andre wouldn't remember ST. Andre would not remember season 2 because he wouldn't have been here, but I do. Right, round number 10. Getting down now to the penultimate races of the season. This track has really been a special track, I think, in URC. It has settled a few championship fights. It's witnessed a few championship finales. It's never really been in the first half of the season. It's always been in the second half of a season because it's just the nature that this track belongs in. And the last winner to win this track was the Kick Sauber. That was the last team to win this track. It's Interlagos is round 10. Brazil is back on the URC calendar. And its full name, the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache Interlagos. It's on the 21st of May. Not a sprint format. And the previous winners, Jake Oz in season 9. He won that race with Kick Sauber when he had Brandon Clark behind him. So great to see Brazil back. It's witnessed many championship finales. Kajoko won his title there, I think, in season 4. Days settled the Drivers' Championship for Brandon Clark there, along with Mercedes and their constructors in season 7. And we had it as our final race of the season in season 9. So it's featured a good bit in URC, and it's good to have Interlagos back, a really good track that with any sort of conditions it can be entertaining, and I'm sure it will be for us. Right, round 11, the second last race of the season, apologies. And it's our final sprint. So our final sprint comes at the penultimate race of the season. Now, we had it last season in season 11. It was a really entertaining race. Leopold was the only commentator for that race, if you remember it, and it was quite. It had some really good action. Really good action in that race. It was where Bluefoot lost his head. Folks, round 11 and a returning this season, Jeddah. Jeddah returns as the penultimate race of the season. It's on the Jeddah Corniche circuit in Saudi Arabia. It's a sprint race weekend, which really could change things massively in the Drivers' Championship come this race, by the way, depending on how it's going after Brazil. This race could be absolutely massive to both the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors. It could really be huge for many of the number 2 drivers. So, the previous race winner, well, 28th of May, apologies, is when it's on. Previous winner, Fran Bernoulli, season 11 with Aston Martin. He won that race after trying to fight Gaffo. And he was fighting Gaffo basically to the line. He won. Callum says first stinky one, but it's the least of the stinky ones, so still a W and a good second last race. Yeah, it's a good track. It has its negatives for sure in the first sector, I think, is what you're probably referring to. But overall, I think it's one of the less worse tracks that you could pick for this. And for a sprint race, it should be really entertaining. Oh, well, I didn't put any animations, but here we go. Round 12. I should have put animations on this, but here we are. The finale, which we've had so many times in the past. Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi has witnessed title finales for season 2. It was the final race of the season in season 3. And there you go. It hasn't featured in 9 seasons. 9 seasons since we last saw Abu Dhabi on the calendar. On the 4th of June. So that's when our season wraps up. And there you go. So, to put it all together, there you have it, folks. Your season 12 calendar. We start off down under in Melbourne. We then go over to Europe, to Spain and Austria. We then leapfrog over to Shanghai, make our way then to United States in Austin. We then head back to Europe, to Belgium, head over to South America for Mexico, back again to Azerbaijan, to then go to Italy, and then for the final 3 we're in Brazil, Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi. So, that is your calendar. Okay, so that's the calendar done. Let's get to the drivers. and this is the one everyone's been waiting for. So we've got 3 new additions to the grid, basically, for season 12. So 3 new people are coming onto the grid. 17 drivers are pretty much still the same. We've carried over 17 from last season, which is really good to see. So lineups will be revealed through the previous season's finishing order from P10 to P1 in the Constructors' Championship. So we'll start with Kick Sauber, then Red Bull, McLaren, Mercedes, Alpine, Racing Bulls, Williams, Aston and Ferrari, and then Haas. Each lineup will have a number 1 and number 2 driver labelled. Each driver will also have a bit of track info about them, or a bit of URC history info about them, which could be wins, their best finish, or some best moments. Because some people are racing here for the first time and some aren't. So, our first team is Kick Sauber. Now, Kick Sauber finished 10th last season. Their best result was Joker when he finished P2 in Canada of season 11. And this is, so just another thing, their information other than their all-time wins is taken from last season, not from all time. Just to give you some context on that. So their best result was Joker P2 in Canada when he came to the team. The season result was 10th. The points they earned were 87, and podiums recorded in that season 3. Their all-time wins in the URC are 8. And now, Kick Sauber's new lineup for season 12. Driver number 1, Andre St. He achieved 3 podiums in a row in season 11, one in Netherlands, one in a race win in Monaco, and a podium in Singapore, and he is the number 1 Kick Sauber driver. And then his teammate, Lucas Spurs, who didn't race much of season 11, so that's why I've gone with has that special something. Because I don't have much on him, to be honest, from season 11. So this would be kind of like an extension to his rookie season. But that is Kick Sauber's lineup going into season 12. Right, let's move on. Next up is Red Bull. ST, you will race. You will race. So, Red Bull's best result was P1, scored by ST in Monaco round 11. Their season result was P9, and they earned 90 points. So not a great season for them. They recorded 3 podiums, and in total all time they have 8 wins. And Red Bull, they have been a team throughout URC that haven't really been successful. They haven't had a consistent lineup that have been at the front of the field. They've been more at the back or either not showing up. And that's never really any good for a team. So they've been hindered badly for that. So this season, their new lineup, their number 1 driver is Fran Bernoulli. who decided to leave Ferrari after he finished his chapter with them and go back to Red Bull Racing. And some information about him. Obviously, he won the Drivers' Championship last season against Hyper, and he totaled 4 race wins in season 11, the most of any driver. Andre, you will race. You will. And Fran's teammate, Bluefoot, whose best result in season 11 was Belgium, P3. So that is Red Bull's lineup. It's a very strong lineup, a lineup definitely capable of being in the top 10 every race. I think for these two guys, it's an expectation from them, not even from me. I think they would expect themselves to be in the top 10 constantly. So we should see Red Bull move further up the table when it comes to this season. But you never know what can happen in a season, really. Anything could happen. Right, McLaren F1, a team that really just fell away this season. They started off pretty well with Pickle Alex and Johnsy Boy, and then after Canada they just kind of fell away due to having disappointing lineups and disappointing performances. So their best result was P2 in the Dutch GP round 9. They finished 8th with a total points counter of 102, and they recorded 2 podiums in season 11. They have the least wins of any URC team in the league. They have 4. Their new lineup, their number 1 driver is Hyper295, the season 11 runner-up and 3 race wins in season 11. And his teammate is Max. The best thing I could find about him from last season, he had the largest amount of grid penalties ever. 26 was his number. Andre, you will race. Hyper says they will have 16 wins at the end of season 12. So he's going to win all the races, apparently. I would love to see a team do that. Okay, P7. Mercedes, the 7th team that finished 7th this season. Their best result was P1 in Silverstone round 1, earned by Hyper. Mercedes were last successful in season 10 with a Constructors' Championship. Since then, they haven't been that successful. They weren't successful last season. Season finish, P7. Points earned, 113. Just a quick fact, 108 of those was Hypers. 1 of those was Solars. And 4 of them were earned by XT Tyler. Podiums recorded in that season were 4. And all-time wins were 19 since season 1. And they're one of the most successful teams in terms of winning. Their new lineup, Jordan Lancer in the number 1 seat. He's a 3-time URC Grand Prix winner. I think the last time he had a full-time seat was season 8, season 7 or season 8. And his teammate is Metal Metal, who scored his best finish P4 in Austin of season 11, and he raced with Williams last season and finished in the top half of the Drivers' Championship. So Mercedes have a really good lineup this season, And I think if both drivers are showing up each week, they should be able to help each other score some points and maybe do well. But that's a good lineup in my opinion. I mean, Jordan is definitely capable of winning races. Metal Metal is definitely capable of scoring points. So it should be a really good season for Merc. Right, sixth, Alpine BWT F1 team. This was Alpine obviously really fell off in last season. They they were leading the constructors for quite some time with Luca and Billy Wiz. And when it came to Billy Wizza and Jake Donaldinho being the two main drivers at Alpine, it just kind of fell away for them. They fell backwards rather than going forwards. Their best result obviously was P1 when they picked up their fifth all-time race win in round 4. Their season result was P6, 114 points earned, so one more point above Mercedes, and 4 podiums in season 11 with 5 all-time wins. Their new lineup: Richie, who is a World Constructors champion with Haas in season 11 and a 3-time podium sitter in season 11, and WTEC Vinny, P4 in round 9 in Zandvoort, and again a driver that has that ability to deliver something special on a race weekend, like a last lap puncture. But he's a second driver that has the ability to score points. Now we get to the top 5 from season 11, and Racing Bulls managed to finish 5th last season thanks to Quiet Boy. Racing Bulls, and their best result was P1 in Qatar, which was Quiet Boy's race win. Their season result was P5. They earned 125 points, so a really good season for Racing Bulls, who in many seasons have been on and off. They have won a Drivers' Championship with Andrew in season 8, and another Drivers' Championship with Malachi in season 10, but they have never won a Constructors' Championship. They've come close, but they never were able to do it, unfortunately, due to second driver performances. They recorded 3 podiums last season, and in all-time URC competitions, they have 10 total wins. Their new lineup, and as we had Jordan in Mercedes, a returning legend, another returning legend returns to the grid. Rian C11, the Season 5 URC Drivers' Champion, the 12-time URC race winner, who has the most wins of any driver in the league, and also a Season 5 World Constructors Champion with Red Bull. So Rian, one of the top drivers in the league, is coming back and racing with Racing Bulls. His teammate is Yari, a Season 11 rookie, P3 in Japan, round 5, a future prospect and a Belgian waffle. He had some difficult moments last season, but with Rian as his teammate, there should absolutely be a sort of guidance, mentor aspect there maybe to help Yari improve. And he's someone who can deliver points if he has a good race weekend. Rian is capable of winning races, finishing on the podium, and doing really well in qualifying. Yari can deliver in qualifying, but struggles in the race. So it's a good lineup for Racing Bulls. Again, a lineup that should be in the top 5 come the end of season 12. Right, into the top 4. Williams, the team who were leading the constructors for the majority of this championship, unfortunately just kind of fell away after Gaffo left, in my opinion. Metal Metal really struggled, I think, with some of the tracks in the second half of the season, so he wasn't able to do his best, and that kind of hindered him. And obviously Ben, who was a team principal for this team, did the best he could, and then Williams were starting to struggle with second driver issues. in terms of penalties, grid penalties, and attendance. So Williams kind of really got hindered by that. Anyway, their best result was P1 and P4 in Austin round 3. Obviously, Gaffo winning the race, Metal Medal finishing P4. Then you have a season result of P4. They earned 128 points, so a 3 points finish above Racing Bulls. 3 podiums recorded and 13 all-time wins in their history of the league. Their new lineup is Quiet Boy, who is a Williams champion with Formula Aero, winner of Qatar GP round number 8, and quite easily a podium contender on a good day for him. His teammate is Kloppo, a season 11 rookie. He's passionate about racing. His best result was P9 in the Belgian GP when he stayed out on intermediates in a dry track. And I think what Leo said about this lineup is that these two are really good friends, and they have developed quite a good friendship in the league. So I think what Quiet Boy will be able to do is he'll be able to help Kloppo in areas that maybe he's struggling in, pace-wise probably. And I think Williams will have a really positive friendship going on this season. So it'll be a really interesting lineup to see how it works out. But Quiet Boy back at Williams, and Kloppo coming back for his second season in the URC, which is really great to see because he did have a very difficult season. And in season 11. Right, moving on to the top 3. We still have Aston Martin, Ferrari, and Haas to talk about. So Aston Martin, really interesting season from Aston Martin. Obviously started with Fran Bernoulli and Vinny, and Fran obviously winning races. He won Saudi Arabia. Vinny started off strongly, and Fran on the podium in Austin. So Aston Martin started off really well. Came around to Imola, and Bluefoot was with Aston Martin at the time. Aston Martin struggled for a bit this season. Came to Belgium, Blue got them on the podium. And then since Belgium, Aston Martin were doing really, really well. And as you can see, their best result, P1 in Saudi Arabia, as you said. You can add Belgium to that as well for Bluefoot's cause. Their season result was P3, 129 points, 4 podiums earned in the season, and 12 all-time wins. And their new lineup is FaZe Monkey as their number 1 driver, who was a season 11 race winner back in Canada of season 11, and a World Constructors Champion with Haas. And his teammate is Fozzies, scored points on debut in round 12 of season 11 with Williams. So he's a debut, and he's the final new addition to the grid with Rian and Lancer. Next, we get on to Ferrari. And so Ferrari obviously finished second. They won the driver's title with Fran. Their best result, 1 drivers' championship and P1 in Austria round number 12. Their season result was P2. They scored 146 points, 5 podiums, and race wins total 19. So they are level on total wins with Mercedes, and this seems like it's a never-ending battle. If a Mercedes wins one race, the Ferrari will win the next race. But maybe that will change this season. Maybe that will change. It'll be very interesting to see. Their new lineup now, and I think I don't think this is the strongest lineup of the season, but I could be proved wrong. Johnsy Boy is Ferrari's number 1 driver, P4, his best ever finish, and Rando, who scored his best finish in Zandvoort P6. So it's a very unknown lineup, this one for Ferrari. I don't know what these two are capable of um, in a full season. Um, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out for Ferrari. Do I think they'll be in Constructors' Championship contention? Probably not. Just on the basis of the other teams. But it'll be interesting to see just how they do over the sprint weekends and then the season combined. And lastly, we have Haas TGR F1, our reigning Constructors' Champions. Best result P2 and P3 in Monaco round 11, and they won the season 11 Constructors' Championship. It was their second Constructors' title of all time. Just to mention, season result P1, obviously. They earned 177 points and 5 podiums recorded in that season, with 9 total wins all time. And their new lineup for season 12 is Joker, who scored 3 podiums for Kick Sauber in season 11, and Billy Wiz, who got P5 as his best finish in round number 7 in season 11, which was Belgium. So those are the lineups, and I have a full image of them here, which we will take a look at now. And there you have it, folks. For those who may have missed out on the announcements of this, we have Hyper and Max at McLaren, Johnsy Boy and Rando at Ferrari, Fran and Blue at Red Bull, Jordan and Metal Medal at Mercedes, FaZe Monkey and Fozzies at Aston Martin, Richie and Vinny over at Alpine, Joker and Billy Wizza at Haas, Rian C11 and Yari at Racing Bulls, Quiet Boy and Kloppo at Williams, and Andre ST and Lucas Spurs at Kick Sauber. So those are the teams. And I'm wondering, are there any reactions? Yari got muted in the Discord. That's a bit harsh. Yeah, but absolutely, any thoughts on these lineups, guys? And definitely get some predictions in ahead of Australia next Thursday on the 19th. On the 19th of March is when we're back racing. So really looking forward now to see how that will turn out for the season. But in terms of the calendar, I'm hoping everyone's happy with it as well, and the lineups. So it should be a really interesting season. I can't make any predictions right now in terms of who wins the championship. I think in terms of the quicker drivers, there's obviously Quiet Boy, there's Quiet Boy, ST, Rian, Richie, FaZe, Lancer, Fran, Hyper. Definitely all these drivers that can be in contention. And it should be interesting to see. Andre says sub off that Sauber driver. No, stopping a baby. It's literally just a car. But yeah, that wraps us up here for that. So we will leave it at that then. For today. Nope, that's the old logo. Where is I'm just gonna change that. And yeah, that wraps it up for us. So hopefully everyone's happy. I know Andre isn't, but someone's got to drive that Sauber. And if he's going to be a child about it, let him be a child about it. It's just a car. At the end of the day. Like, it's literally going to be Audi soon enough. So I don't know why anyone bothers complaining about it. But yeah, look. We will see you all for the opening round of the season. No, ST, I will not be doing that. Goodbye.
Julian Bluefoot battling Igafo for P1.
Crash Fran's out. It's lap 1.
Behind them! It's wheel to wheel! They make contact!
Spins over the wall.
Has driven fantastically, he's defended brilliantly, and he's